the varsity matchup here at the Ice Garden. Welcome inside the rink. Josh Powers along with our crew. Jefferson and Kennedy in what will prove to be a hotly contested one here tonight. It's the only meeting between these two teams this year, and we will settle things on the ice as both teams ready to come out of the dressing room shortly. If you missed it earlier this afternoon, we covered the JV game for you, and it was Jefferson winning that one 6-2. Great turnout here at the Ice Garden for this one. You see the Kennedy student section, the Kennedy Pep Band is here. And on my side over here on the other side of the rink, the Jaguars representing well on this side. Good atmosphere, should be a good night, a fun night, but an intense night of hockey here in the Battle of Bloomington. Let's check out some of the keys of the game for this one. When we picked one key for each team and then a key for both. So our first key goes to Kennedy. They need to clear the puck efficiently tonight out of their own zone. That will be critical for them to avoid Jefferson shot opportunities, for checking presence, and for them to create offense going the other way. On the Jaguar side, net front presence is going to be key for them. Getting traffic in front of goaltender Hansen, causing some difficulties, maybe poking home some rebounds. Jefferson can use its size because they definitely have a size advantage tonight. And then for both teams, playing focused is going to be key here in the battle for Bloomington. Let's send it down ringside and meet the starting lineups for both teams and our national anthem here in the Battle of Bloomington.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bloomington Ice Gardens. For today's Battle of Bloomington, it's Jefferson versus Kennedy. It is time to meet the starting lineups, beginning with our visiting team, the Jefferson Jaguars. Starting in goal, number 1, senior Evan Redepenning. On defense, number 4, senior Nick Getters. And number 20, senior Tristan Larson. On the wings, number 8, junior Colin Anderson. And number 22, senior Blake Camuel. And the Jaguars starting center, number 18, senior Jack Getters. The coaching staff for the Jaguars, the assistant coaches are Chris Knopf, Donnie Williams, Keith George, Matt Elson, and Verge Seneschal. The head coach is Mr. Jeff Lindquist. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the home team, the Kennedy Eagles. Starting in goal, number 33, sophomore Peter Vodovnik. On defense, number 5, senior Grant Mendel. And number 32, senior David Beacom. On the wings, number 4, sophomore Craig Herman. And number 41, junior Joe Dozian. And the Eagles starting center, number 17, senior Zach Workman. The assistant coaches for the Eagles are Brian Hansen and Eric Vetch. The head coach is Mr. Nick Hanrahan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you would please face the scoreboard end of the arena as we honor our flag and country with the playing of our national anthem. Gentlemen, please remove any headwear.
Great atmosphere inside the Ice Gardens. We're ready for the Battle of Bloomington. Only time this season, regular season anyway, between the Jaguars and the Eagles. Josh Powers with you, live on BEC-TV. Should be a good night of hockey here on a Tuesday night. There are the Eagles, 2-15 this year. Head coach Nick Hanrahan for Kennedy. On the other side, the Jaguars, 7-12 this season. Their head coach Jeff Lindquist. Both teams would love to move up in the Metro West standings. The Jaguars just 2 points in conference. They're 1-3. Kennedy 0-3. All trying to chase down Benilde, a record of 4-0-1 in the league. So here we go. Kennedy in the home gold with the navy blue trim, and the Jaguars in the Columbia blue and white trim. Another Battle of Bloomington about to get underway at the Ice Garden. And it's the Jaguars off a face-off win with first control. Nick Getters sends it rink wide, D to D, turned back by the Eagles. Zach Workman trying to sprint down low. Nick Getters getting there first, back to the point, and that shot trickling through. And Evan Redepenning dives on it to cover 22 seconds into this one. So Kennedy with the first shot attempt and first shot on goal in this one. 2 wins for the Eagles this year, Waconia in overtime, and another win against Southwest Christian Richfield. Trying to do the dirty work down low for Kennedy's number 6, Jackson Fuller. Unable to play it further. Sent up towards center by Carter Eha. Turned back at the Jaguar line. Through neutral. Defenseman Grant Mendel slides it into the Jaguar zone for Kennedy as Workman takes a big shove. Between the circles, Jefferson with control up to Prince Opong. Prince trying to get around David Beacom and denied. David Beacom for Kennedy. Perhaps their best player, he's turned back, and now Eha to the backhand, poked away by the freshman Chase Beacom, the younger brother of David. The Beacoms will see them early and often tonight. Here comes Kennedy again, Jackson Fuller, as their team changing behind the play. And Jefferson sends it up to Carter Eha. Deflected puck at center, finds the stick of Grayson Height, the leading scorer as a sophomore for the Jaguars, number 16. Forcing it to center there was Craig Herman of Kennedy, who's a young sophomore winger, number 4. A lot of youth for this Kennedy team. We mentioned Chase Beacom, a freshman for the Eagles. Herman forces it to center, and Cole Youngworth will retreat back in his own zone for the Jaguars. Off the wall, tipped up ahead, or at least trying to tip it up ahead, was Carson Jacobs. Good presence at neutral ice so far for Kennedy. Here's Height. Grayson Height watched right at the blue line on a nice hit by the freshman, but Height pokes at it in front. Save made by Kennedy goaltender Peter Vidovnik, the sophomore, getting the nod tonight. We'll get to the goaltender numbers shortly. In front, Height. He got knocked down. Youngworth calling for it at the point. Sends it around D to D and a wrist shot. Vidovnik with a save. And the rebound! They score! Carson Jacobs with the goal for the Jaguars as they celebrate right in front of the student section of Kennedy. And so it's the Jaguars who strike in the game's first 3 minutes. Carson Jacobs with his 8th goal of the season, most on the team. Looked like it was deflected in front of Vidovnik. See if we can get another look at that one. It's an unassisted goal for the Jaguars. So we'll see if Kennedy can respond. Save Vidovnik. Rebound still loose, and it's punched to the point. That shot right in front off the stick of the captain, Tristan Larson. Kennedy may have numbers. Overskating that one is Quentin Goldknopf, and it leads to an offside on the Eagles. Carson Jacobs, his 8th goal of the season, most on the team for Kennedy. It is Grayson Heitho leading them in points with 15, 5 goals, 10 assists. On the other side, Joe Dojan, 19 points for Kennedy, 6 goals, 13 assists, 41 in gold. Very athletic junior for Kennedy. Good size as well. Here's a 2-on-2 opportunity for the Jaguars. Justin Johnson with a shot right on. Saved by Vidovnik, and he did not like Carter Eha flying in for that rebound. And Peter Vidovnik getting the start tonight. This is his 14th appearance. He's just 0-2 with a 84.9% save percentage and a 6.87 goals against. He has played about a sixth as many minutes as the other goaltender, Noah Hansen. Intercepted at center by Opong. He's turned back at the line as Herman slides it to center. Co-captain Workman over for Herman. Punch back to David Beacom. Beacom over for Devin Barnum on that defensive combination. Up for Herman too far. Jefferson back the other way. Justin Johnson could not settle it, and Beacom goes back behind his own goal. Here's Justin Ekholm. Ekholm with a couple of good moves through center and sends it into the Jaguar end. Back there is Nick Getters, one of 2 Getters brothers on this team, along with twin brother Jack. Penalty coming through center. And the Jaguars are going to go on the power play. The first power play opportunity in this game goes to Jefferson. And that unit at 20% convergent rate so far this year will get the first crack. It's a holding call on Kennedy's number 15, Richard Matthew, or correction, number 5, Grant Mendel, excuse me. So Mendel 2 minutes to the box for the hold, the senior for Kennedy. And the Jaguar power play, 20% this season. Kennedy only at 66.2% on the penalty kill. Here's Youngworth at the top of the zone. He'll wait and fire. Pad save Vidovnik. Rebound sent just wide by Larson. Youngworth to Larson at the circle. He'll send it across. Back to Youngworth. Larson again. Wrister. Save Vidovnik. They poke away at the rebound. There's that net front presence we spoke of. Camuel was down there along with, I believe, Getters, Jack Getters for Jefferson. Correction, Opong on this power play. A minute 35 in the man advantage for the Jaguars. Face-off win back to Larson, who sends it over to Youngworth. Watch there by Workman, who just did keep it alive. Youngworth fires. Did not get all the way through, and it's poked to center. A minute 15 left in the first power play of the game. Jefferson already up a goal. Would love to make it 2 here on the man advantage. On the left wing, good hit made down low by Chase Beacom on the captain Larson. And Kennedy will clear to neutral, up for Joe Dojan. 1-on-2 shorthanded. He will wheel it back. Smart play there by Dojan as they're able to kill more power play time, sending it the length of the ice. 45 seconds left in the Jaguar man advantage. And it's Jack Getters. He'll send it rink wide for brother Nick. Now in front, and a shot bothered by Kennedy. Jack Getters holds his wrist shot. Gloved and covered by Vidovnik, who will stop play with 31 seconds on the man advantage. 10:53 left opening period. The Jaguars already in front tonight on an even strength goal by Carson Jacobs. He will take the face-off for the Jaguars with a half-minute left of power play time. Jack Getters over to brother Nick. Return pass, Nick waiting. Jack now, he'll chip it down low. In front looking for Johannes, but Kennedy intercepts. And playing it all the way down, Quentin Goldknop. A final 10 seconds of power play time for the Jaguars. Nick Getters to center, broken up once again. Nick will enter the zone, wrist shot, missing wide as the penalty to Mendel is over. Kennedy full strength, Jefferson 0 for 1 on the power play. Colin Anderson at the circle. A long distance shot blocked by Kennedy, and now moving through center, the Jaguars wanting a slash there, but none coming. Carter Iha between the circles, hit the outside of the post. Up and out of play, Carter Iha nearly sniped one to make it 2-0. First 7 minutes of this one controlled by the Jefferson Jaguars, and they have a goal to show for it thanks to Carson Jacobs. The senior for the Jaguars, their leading goal scorer, tacking another one on here early tonight. Draw one by Kennedy. Chase Beacom slides it around toward Herman, who lets it go through to center. Nathan Johannes sends it back to the D, and it's Gavin Wendorf through neutral, number 5. Now David Beacom loves to possess that puck. He can weave some magic when it's on his blade. He's got a bunch of offensive game, although the numbers maybe don't necessarily show it. 3 goals and an assist. He's actually being outscored by his younger brother, freshman Chase, by a point, but certainly David Beacom wearing that C for Kennedy, there's a reason why. He's an excellent player, as his co-captain Zach Workman wins the draw back behind the Jaguar net. Up ahead, Justin Johnson, one-on-one with Chase Beacom. Johnson in front! And Vidovnik kicked that one aside. Dojan caught up over there with Opong, and now David Beacom. 3-on-3 if they hurry, but it's poke checked away at center. Workman recovers at neutral, tried to slide it ahead for Dojan, intercepted by Opong, then Dojan gets it back. He'll send it back to Chase Beacom on D. Dojan hit his own player at center. Workman picks up the loose puck and enters the Jaguar zone. He'll send it down low, tried to center for Goldknop, that was bothered. And Tristan Larson walls off Joe Dojan in the race for that puck. At center, Justin Johnson. 2-on-3 at the end of his shift, he'll just backhand it down low. Puck goes all the way to center. Jack Getters plays it back into the zone, but only just a little bit, as Grant Mendel offside at the line for Kennedy. We'll stop play with 8:16 left here in period number 1. Carson Jacobs, the goal for the Jaguars, less than 3 minutes in. As Jefferson out to the early lead here in the Battle of Bloomington, only meeting between these two in the regular season. At center, they fight for it, and Jefferson able to backhand it into the zone, played by goaltender Vidovnik, but in front was Camuel, denied by Peter Vidovnik, who made up for that kind of nonchalant play behind the net. The sophomore needing a little bit more sense of urgency right there. Of course, younger brother of former Eagle Adam Vidovnik, who was also a hockey player. Sent wide off the draw. Youngworth deflected in front by Johannes wide. Here's Grayson Height. Back to Youngworth. He'll try to bat it down low. That was blocked by Jackson Fuller. Youngworth again hit the side of the net. Jefferson getting pucks to the net here in the first period. At neutral, trying to latch on was Ekholm. Poked away from him, back to the D, and now a steal. Johannes to Height. Rister missed wide. And Height upended on a big hit. Here's Jackson Fuller. Able to sidestep a Jaguar to neutral for Goldknopf. At the end of his shift, he dumps it in. 7 minutes remaining here in the first period. Goldknopf at center. Correction Workman over for Dozhin. Dozhin on the half wall, gains control. Wraps around the Jaguar net, or the forehand now as that shot was blocked. And Iha tracks it down in the corner. Jack Mickelson getting some run here. We saw him in the junior varsity game for Jefferson. Now out there 25 in Columbia blue. Lassoed in by David Beacom, gloved and dropped by goaltender Evan Redepenning with 6.5 minutes left here in the first period. Mickelson off the wall as he delivers a shove, and now Youngworth at center. Cole Youngworth around the D to the middle, and it was tipped wide by Iha. He'll try to throw it back in front. Workman there to deny. And Beacom lays out Mickelson. Things getting chippy already here in the Battle of Bloomington, and it's only the first period. Here comes the freshman. Trying to get around the senior captain of Jefferson, Tristan Larson, as more players go sliding after some collisions here at the Bloomington Ice Garden. A penalty coming on the Jaguars. You had to get a call sooner or later on one side or the other. With all the heavy hits being laid here in the first period, Justin Johnson will go for a trip with under 6 minutes left in the first. So it'll be Kennedy on the power play for the first time, converting at 10.6% this year. Jefferson 78.7% on the penalty kill. Workman, Dozhin, the Beacom brothers, along with Herman on this power play for Kennedy. As Dozhin sends it back to David Beacom. Chase Beacom. Senior to freshman brother. Workman at the circle, tried to slide it down low, and Chase Beacom fanned on it as he hears it from the Jaguar student section. David Beacom enters the zone and withstands that hit from Jack Getters. Herman to Joe Dozhin. 1:25 left of power play time. David Beacom just outside the far circle. Chase, one-timer, Workman, save Redepenning. In front for Herman, broken up by Jack Getters. Herman reclaims though. Good zone time on the power play for Kennedy. And David Beacom can't keep that one in. We're midway through the power play as Jefferson changes up the penalty unit. So far, no changes for Kennedy here on the man advantage. Chase Beacom tracks it down at center, and he's hip checked along the boards by Opong. Kennedy making a couple changes here on the power play, 35 to go. As Chase Beacom back at center for Goldknopf. Final 30 seconds of power play time for Kennedy as we work toward the 4-minute mark remaining here in the first period. Zach Workman, rink wide for Dozhin, 1-on-2. He'll leave it for Mendel. And now Workman at the circle. 6 seconds left in the power play. Dozhin behind the net for Goldknopf. Wendorf is there for Jefferson. Power play is over as Justin Johnson back. Dozhin in front. Workman a shot, blockered aside by Redepenning. Workman just not quite able to one-time that one. Had it on his blade for just a moment, and that gave Skopehammer enough time to slide across. 3.5 minutes left in the first period. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play. Here's an on-rushing Jaguar, Blake Camuel, keeping that puck in as he sends it behind the net for Height. In front. That's off target, and Jackson Fuller is there for Kennedy. Unable to clear. Good forechecking presence by the Jaguars' Justin Johnson, but enough room this time for Mendel to carry through neutral. Bumped off the puck, and back come the Jaguars, Camuel and Height. Camuel waits and fires. That was deflected wide. Over to play it, Alex Arnold for Kennedy, number 8. Joining him is Herman. As they dig away at it with 2:45 left in this first period. Herman emerges with it for Kennedy. Herman up ahead, and they would have had a 2-on-1, but Fuller couldn't settle it. Jefferson back the other way. It's poked away from Height. Both teams with near odd man rushes there. As Grant Mendel for Kennedy sends it to the half wall. Herman, pass interrupted by Jack Getters, who throws it right back in. With some defensive changes on that line for the Jaguars. Upended was Herman on a clean hit at the blue line by Eha. Now they don't say not clean. Carter Eha is going to go. Second power play for Kennedy here in the first period. This may be a charging call on Eha. We'll get it momentarily. So Carter Eha, 2 minutes. Kennedy will get its second power play here of the first period. 10.6% entering play. Just 4 games left in the regular season for Jefferson after tonight, 5 for Kennedy. Same power play unit for Kennedy. They've got Herman, Dozian, and Workman up front, and the Beacom brothers on the back end. Could be an odd man rush shorthanded. Jack Getters and Camuel. Getters fires, and he misses wide. David Beacom somehow able to get it to younger brother Chase, and now Joe Dozian settles it for Kennedy. Second power play of the period. Leading scorer Dozian backhands it across. Nobody home. And Camuel flings it most of the way down. Jefferson getting in a quick change here defensively. As Chase Beacom works around Wendorf. He'll stop in the corner. Back for Workman. Workman sauces it across for Beacom, but a tough pass to handle. He kicks it down low. Wendorf for the Jaguars. Bodied up by Dozian, but Wendorf works it free and sends it all the way down. Midway through the second Eagle power play of the period with a minute left in the first period. Workman gathers that loose puck for Kennedy, and he'll sprint through neutral, broken up there by Nathan Johannes as the Jaguars clear once again. 35 seconds left of power play time. Chase Beacom squeezes around a check, and now Dozian, 2-on-1, fires, save, Redepenning. Best look of the period right there for the Eagles, and it was on the blade of their leading scorer, Joe Dozian. But Evan Redepenning coming up big. His numbers on the year. This is appearance number 19. He's 6-10 with an 87.4% save percentage and a goals against of 4.04. Goldknopf on the draw for Kennedy on the power play. Goldknopf trying to dance through the circles, and Youngworth hits the official, and now Height. 1-on-1. Grayson Height missed up top. You see the speed of the Jaguars' leading scorer right there. The young sophomore Grayson Height with 15 points on the season. Power play is over, 5 seconds in the period, and Kennedy just wants to make sure nothing bad happens. Iha, though, will fire, and not enough time. An early goal from the Jaguars, Carson Jacobs, less than 3 minutes in, pacing the Jaguars to a 1-0 lead here in the Battle of Bloomington, as we'll look at some highlights here from the first period. It was an unassisted goal for Carson Jacobs to give the Jaguars the lead. Redepenning making an early save. Height a chance on the doorstep, denied by Vidovnik, and there is Jacobs, just turned and fired, and I think it hit an eagle in front. More pushing and shoving as you'd expect in the Battle of Bloomington. Vidovnik holding up well. 11 saves for him on 12 shots on goal for Jefferson. And the Eagles managing 4 shots on goal the other way, 4 saves for Evan Redepenning. We've reached the end of one in the Battle of Bloomington. Jefferson on top, 1-0. Plenty more coming. Stick around live tonight on BEC-TV.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Back at the Ice Garden, ready to start the second period of play. Jefferson leading 1-0 after one. Josh Powers with you on BEC-TV. The Battle of Bloomington, only time these teams will meet in the regular season this year. And it was Carson Jacobs with the goal for the Jaguars less than 3 minutes in from a very sharp angle that has given the Jaguars the lead. Jefferson out shooting Kennedy in the first period, 12-4. The Jaguars looking for their 8th win of the season, coming in with a record of 7-12. Kennedy 2-15. They would love to get their 3rd win of the season tonight. It would be certainly their biggest win of the season, maybe for both teams, considering this crosstown rivalry. Glad you're with us on a Tuesday night here. As we wind down the regular season, just a couple more weeks in the regular season for both teams before playoff time. Good atmosphere inside the Ice Garden. You see the Kennedy side there, the home team in this matchup tonight in the background. The Kennedy Pep Band here. Good turnout on the student section. Similarly on this side, Jefferson well represented. 5-on-5 to begin this second period. Kennedy was 0 for 2 on the power play in the first period. Jefferson 0 for 1. But the Jaguars have the lead as we start the second period here in the Battle of Bloomington. As Blake Camuel enters the Kennedy zone. At the half wall, he'll drop it down low. Grant Mendel for Kennedy. Chips it to the circle, and Zach Workman to center. And now Joe Dozian, their leading scorer with 19 points, sends it into the Jefferson zone. The captain, Tristan Larson, around for it. High off the glass, Mendel jumps, drops, and covers at center. And plays it back in. Kennedy needs more neutral zone play like that. Here's Tristan Larson, though, on the backhand. Deflected up and out of play. Peter Vidovnik, the sophomore goaltender for Kennedy, getting the start tonight with 11 saves in the first period. There's his counterpart, Evan Redepenning. 4 saves for Jefferson. First minute of play here in the second period. Jackson Fuller wins the draw, but nobody home on the back end. As the Jaguars throw it in front, Prince Opon, but it hit a stick and carry him to the half wall. Fuller at center. Drops it back. There's John Lane. We saw him play a period in the JV game for Kennedy. And Lane in front, and he waited too long to pass. Penalty coming on Kennedy. So John Lane found himself the beneficiary of a Jaguar mistake in front of his own net. Not only did Lane fail to get a shot or a pass off, then he commits a penalty. And the young sophomore going to learn from that experience, certainly. So the Jaguars to the power play for the second time, 0 for 1, clicking at 20% entering play. And it'll be the Getters brothers up top for Jefferson. Colin Anderson along with Carson Jacobs and Iha up front for the Jaguars. Here's Carter Iha. Waiting at the circle, he'll rifle it down low. And Carson Jacobs plays it for Jefferson, back to Nick Getters. Wrister right on. Good screen in front from Colin Anderson, who got a piece of it, but he deflected it up and out of play. 1:39 left of power play time. Peter Vidovnik for the Eagles, getting the start here tonight. Hearing it from the Jaguar student section right in front of the Eagle net in this period. And I'm sure the Eagle fans will have similar words for Redepenning on the other side. Iha, rink-wide pass. Down low, Jack Getters to brother Nick, waiting and waiting. Fires a wrister, that hit Workman and Karems to the corner. Nick Getters again. Jack Getters snipes one off, pad save. Vidovnik and Dozhin able to hold off Jacobs and then draws a penalty. Maybe a little bit of acting, but certainly there was contact as well. Carson Jacobs will go for a slash, and the second Jaguar power play has come to a close. It'll officially be a tripping call. So credit Joe Dozhin. They're drawing that penalty for Kennedy. And Carson Jacobs, the goal scorer for Jefferson, with that call. There was certainly contact. Now, you might have said Dozhin, a little bit of acting, but maybe that's to his credit, making sure the officials saw it and were forced to make a decision. So we're 4-on-4 for a bit. Vidovnik a save. Kennedy back the other way with a little bit more space to operate here, 4-on-4. They'll chip it in. Jackson Fuller on the forecheck. Jefferson over skating it. Now Tristan Larson gains control, 3-on-2. Here they come with a shot. Vidovnik got a piece of that with a shoulder to send it up and out of play. Justin Johnson on the right wing had that opportunity for the Jaguars as we still have 24 seconds of 4-on-4 time. And then the Eagles will go on the power play for 1 minute. It'll be their third power play of the game. 14:20 remaining here in the middle period. Draw won by Jefferson. Johannes tipped back to the point. Youngworth, his wrist shot, saved by Vidovnik, or he got a piece of it anyway. Larson sends it right back to Youngworth. He'll try it again. That one misses wide. Larson holds again. He'll chip it back down low, looking for Johannes. Youngworth sprints up to support. And now Mendel for Kennedy behind the net as they're full strength. Out of the box is Lane. He heads right to the bench. Kennedy on the power play for the next 53 seconds. Their third power play of the game. Both teams now 0 for 2 on the man advantage. So a chance here for Kennedy to equalize as we wind our way toward the midway point of this one. And in the top power play unit for Kennedy, right back on, both Beacom brothers along with Workman, Dojan, and Herman. Face-off won by the Jaguars. Herman deflects though. Takes a shove from Tristan Larson. Workman will get to it in the corner. He'll set up shop with 40 seconds in the power play. In front, Herman a backhand. Save Redepenning. And the rebound poked just wide. The Jaguars avoid the first big Kennedy threat in this game. And it was nearly a 1-1 game on a power play goal. Still 20 seconds in that man advantage. Chase Beacom guarded by two Jaguars as it's played around toward Larson. Up on the wall, Camuel sends it all the way down. Tristan Larson out of the box in 3 seconds. And Kennedy officially 0 for 3 on the power play as the freshman Chase Beacom delivers a shove to Mickelson. If you like hard-hitting hockey, you've come to the right place. The Battle of Bloomington. We had a fight in the JV game with a minute to go. Give you any indication on these teams and if they like each other or not, and the answer would be a no. Off the wall to neutral. 12:20 remaining here in the second period. Jefferson scoring less than 3 minutes into the first period. Carson Jacobs, that goal holding up right now. Another penalty coming, this one on Kennedy, as they will touch up. And an elbowing call here on the Eagles will put Jefferson on its third power play of the game. Grant Mendel taking his second penalty of this game. No surprise, unfortunately, for Mendel. He leads Kennedy in penalty minutes. Now that was his 14th penalty assessed to him so far this year. So Jefferson, third power play try, 0 for 2 tonight. They win the draw back to Youngworth. Youngworth to Height. Height and Youngworth now across ice. Back for Height. Youngworth. Height again, walking in. Tried to snipe the top corner and missed. And Larson unable to keep in that bouncing puck. Look at the nice hustle from Jackson Fuller. Oh, Fuller goes head first into the wall. Looks like he is okay as he's up quickly, fortunately. David Beacom working on Opong. 40 seconds gone by in the power play as Height back to Youngworth. Youngworth drive. Shatters the stick of Goldknopf. Goldknopf without a stick. Youngworth back for Height, walking right in. And that pass was blocked by Beacom, who backhands it around Youngworth. David Beacom shorthanded for Kennedy. Drawing precious power play time on a great individual effort as the puck sent back to center and poked into the Jaguar zone. 45 to go in the power play. Just under 11 minutes remaining, second period. Off of the skate of Camuel, deflects to Opong. Opong back to Larson, moving right in, and a save made by Vidovnik. Bouncing puck, Opong takes a swing at it. That goes to the corner, and Kennedy clears to Dojan. Joe Dojan 1-on-2. Good defensive play by the Jaguars. Youngworth was back there to deny Kennedy's leading scorer. Dojan in front for Workman, and he couldn't settle it. Nearly a brilliant chance shorthanded for Kennedy. Nick Getters will go behind the net as the penalty is over. He'll drop it down low, and a nice play defensively by Alex Arnold for Kennedy coming back to support. Icing the call on Kennedy with 9:56 remaining in the second period. So both teams now 0 for 3 on the power play. And they finally pick up that shattered stick of Quentin Goldknop that was laying in the corner forever. Kennedy nearly able to poke this one home as it just trickled wide. Jack Getters tried to fling his stick over there, but he watches it just slide by the post, fortunately for the Jaguars. Gloved and dropped by Johnson in front. Jack Getters takes a swipe at it, but that's wide. Eha backhands it. Johnson to Wendorf. His shot misses wide. Eha back in front. That was blocked. And the Eagles send it all the way down. Not far enough for icing. Out to play it is Redepenning. Over for Youngworth on the half wall, and now Wendorf. Long pass, great catch, Justin Johnson! But Vidovnik, nice job to anticipate that puck. He darted out quickly and covered before Johnson could replay it. Great intensity from both of these teams and an entertaining hockey game. So far, we're almost midway through this one. Great atmosphere inside the Ice Garden. Jefferson, an early first period goal, has stood up so far. Carson Jacobs scored that goal for Jefferson as Larson fires from the point. On to Vidovnik, who steers it to the corner. Grayson Height drops it back down low for the Jaguars. Devin Barnum cycles it around for David Beacom, and the Eagles efficiently through center. Picked up by Kennedy. That's Herman, who backhands it into the Jaguar zone. Workman on the forecheck, along with Herman and Dojan. Around for David Beacom. He'll hold at the point and send it back down low for Herman behind the Jaguar net. Now Dojan tried to go out front for Workman, but that was deflected and picked up by the Jaguars as they're back through neutral. Grayson Height at the circle. Pass down low for Carson Jacobs, but he was being bothered by David Beacom, and Kennedy ices the puck with 8:20 remaining here in the second period. Jefferson leading 1-0 in the Battle of Bloomington. Has plenty of fans out here on a Tuesday night. And here's another look at that Justin Johnson play. Nice job to get around the freshman, but then you see Vidovnik quickly way out of his net, and a great decision to cut that one down. He has played well tonight for Kennedy despite limited minutes on the season. Nick Getters with a drive, deflected right on, and then tipped wide. Kennedy keeping things to the perimeter. Chase Beacom intercepted though, and thrown in front by Anderson. Opon shot blocked. The rebound pulled free as they hammer away, and it's tipped wide. Justin Ekholm up to center. Nick Getters holds and fires from his knees, and that almost got through. Nick again holds on a nice play. Nick Getters in front, deflected by Chase Beacom to the half wall. Jefferson continuing the press, another loose puck in front. Ekholm able to play that to the corner. Camuel to Opong, and a kick save by Vidovnik. And now Youngworth settling things back at center. Great intensity to this hockey game tonight. Kennedy will ice it again. They need some fresh bodies out there. 7:02 left in this second period. Kennedy really scrambling defensively, but making critical plays amid all the Jaguar pressure. Vidovnik goes down. You see Mendel blocking there to save that goal to the corner. All hands on deck on both sides tonight. Workman able to win the draw for Kennedy. And now it's center, it's Herman. 2-on-3, he'll dump it in around Nicholson. Herman goes behind the net, cycles it for Workman, back for Herman, who's watched there by two Jaguars, and the loose puck scooped up by Eha. Eha through center, still on the puck. Eha to the backhand, in front for Jack Getters, who slid it just wide. Justin Johnson back for Eha. Johnson got separated from the puck by Kennedy's Dojin, who gets a return pass from Workman. Dojin in, backhands it across. It was blocked by Wendorf, and Workman can't quite get to the loose puck for Kennedy. Great play by Dojin. More Eagle pressure as Goldknop back to the point. Arnold a shot! Right on, kick to the corner by Evan Redepenning. Beacom keeps that one in for Kennedy, but only for a moment, as it's all the way down. Eha gets there in time. And he and Arnold give a couple of shoves. To the point, Tristan Larson walking in, save and a rebound behind the Kennedy net. Larson chips for height, that was off target. Nick Getters picks it up at the circle as he's shoved into the glass. Height behind the net for the Jaguars, looking middle. He'll send it back to the point instead for Nick Getters, and now Larson. Cross ice pass, good idea, but it was too far in front of Height. Ekholm for Kennedy, just trying to clear. Larson keeps it alive as it trickles on to goaltender Vodovnik, covering with 5:19 left in an exciting second period. About as exciting of a period as you can get without a goal being scored. Remember, the only goal in this game came less than 3 minutes in by Jefferson's Carson Jacobs. Kennedy just hanging around in this one. And I think if you'd ask the Eagles right now if you'd take a 1-0 deficit heading into the third, I think they would. Be right in this hockey game, certainly. Tristan Larson, the captain. Short angle shot, rebound, saved by Vodovnik. How did he slide over in time? Workman tried to get around Nick Getters as it was poked to the corner by Nick. Joe Dojin for Kennedy. Wheels a backhand back down low. Herman trying to pry it free along with Zach Workman for Kennedy. Jefferson emerges with it. Here come the Jaguars once again. Jacobs triggers a long rebound as they swipe at it and it hit the side of the net. Dojin up for Herman, tried to get it to center and did. Nick Getters to Youngworth, re-enters the zone. Youngworth took a hit from Mendo. Camuel slid it just wide. And Kennedy will ice it here as we tick toward 4 minutes left in this second period. Good chances on both sides in this period. And the big crowd at the Ice Garden being entertained tonight. Fuller versus Opong as Prince Opong wins that draw. And a shot deflected in front to the half wall by Jefferson. Up ahead, Jackson Fuller trying to chase it down, fires and a save, and the rebound played away from Goldknop. And now the Jaguars a 2-on-1. Camuel, good at the line, he'll fire, save, and a rebound! Somehow stayed out. Wendorf walking in, that misses wide as it caroms around. End to end here at the Ice Garden in the Battle of Bloomington. Fuller almost got free, but a quick poke away by Youngworth saved that opportunity. We go back the other way. Here's Anderson with a shot from the circle, blocked by Kennedy. Terrific level of play here in the second period, still with just over 3 minutes left. A hit by Tristan Larson on Goldknop. Larson working down low. Being bothered there. There's a nice interception by Kennedy and quietly settled to center by John Lane. 2:50 remaining in the second period. Larson sidesteps a Joe Dojin hit. Drops it back for Eha. Back for Larson in front. And a loose puck played by Mendel. Goldknop ahead, and Workman is onside and in. Workman to the forehand. Scores! Zach Workman has evened this one at 1 apiece. The co-captain for Kennedy came right off the bench and found the puck right on his blade. Watch the patience here as he slides it past Redepenning. And the Eagle fans going crazy on the home side as this one is level at 1-1. Final 2.5 minutes of the second period. And Workman with his 7th goal of the season. Goldknop picks up the assist for Kennedy. And for Quentin Goldknop, that is his 4th assist of the season. We've got a heck of a third period coming up. Tied 1-1, late second. Jefferson trying to go back in front. Nick Getters, Youngworth, shot did not get through. Poked to center by Kennedy, nearly numbers again. But it was just too far for Herman to play it quickly. Workman at neutral once again for Kennedy. With Herman, tried to sidestep a hit. Picked up by Joshin between the circles. He'll drop it back to Chase Beacom with a pass across. Workman scores! An unbelievable pass by the freshman Chase Beacom, and Zach Workman has back-to-back goals. You do not expect passes like that from a freshman, as he had the patience and vision to find Workman alone in front. And the Eagles are now in front. How will the Jaguars respond? Camuel. Back to Wendorf. His shot deflects. Camuel in front. A shot by Jack Getters deflects up and out of play. Kennedy in front on back-to-back goals by Zach Workman. And now, not only we'll see how the Jaguars respond, how will Kennedy play with the lead? Remember, they've only won 2 games this year, being badly outshot in this one to this point, but they find themselves in front here in the late stages of the second period. Gavin Wendorf for the Jaguars, watched by Ekholm. Carter Eha off the half wall, pass up ahead. Mendel getting back to support defensively. For the Kennedy Eagles as we head toward a minute to play in the second. Justin Johnson back to the point for Mendel, but it skates to center. Dumped right back in, David Beacom. Under a minute in the period as he steals that pass intended for Opong. Ekholm could not redirect at neutral as Wendorf kept it alive, and Jefferson scores! Prince Opong, as it was redirected by Kennedy traffic in front, has evened it at 2 apiece. Prince Opong with his 5th of the year. Sometimes when you throw it in front, good things happen. And it happened that time for the senior Prince Opong as it ricocheted off of Kennedy in front of goaltender Vidovnik. Wendorf will pick up the assist. And we have a brand new hockey game under a minute in the second period. Vidovnik kick save on a Justin Johnson shot. Joe Dojan trying to reclaim the lead for Kennedy. Great defense by Nick Getters to deny. And now Jefferson back. Here's a chance. Vodovnik stick save to the corner. We go back to the other end. 10 seconds in the period as Beacom throws it right on. And held by Redepenning with 7 seconds remaining in this second period. How about the last 4 minutes of this game? You had 2 goals by Zach Workman and then this goal by Prince Opong, who just throws it in front. Nobody but Kennedy players there. David Beacom deflects off his equipment up and over the shoulder of Vodovnik. Mendel with 5 in the period to Dojan, who sends it across, hit traffic, and that's how the second period will end. What a period of hockey. Jefferson led 1-0 entering the period, and despite numerous chances on both sides, it was 1-1 late in the period when Zach Workman scored 2 consecutive for Kennedy. They had the lead with under a minute in the period, but then that Opong goal ties this one back up 2-2 as we will head to the third period of play in the Battle of Bloomington. And we'll look at some highlights after the break. Stick around, you don't want to miss this third period. Battle of Bloomington shaping up to be a good one. 2-2 after 2. Back shortly on BEC-TV. Back at the Ice Garden, nearly ready to drop the puck on this all-important third period. Battle of Bloomington, a 2-2 tie after 2 here on a Tuesday night. Josh Powers along with our BEC-TV crew. This has been a phenomenal game so far as we have one more period to settle it potentially. We'll see how it develops. Let's take a look at the highlights. From the second period, an eventful period, Jefferson led 1-0 after 1. Numerous chances in the period for the Jaguars early. There was a Kennedy chance that slipped just wide. Heavy hitting throughout the period, several penalties. Vodovnik making a key save there. Mendel keeping that one out defensively. Vodovnik another kick save. Yet another one for Vodovnik. And then Zach Workman tied it at 1 late and then took the lead 2-1, but Jefferson tied it 2-2 there with that last-minute goal from Opong. All the goals even strength in this one. Both teams 0 for 3 on the power play. And we are all even 2-2. It's been a great atmosphere inside the Ice Garden. You see the Kennedy side there on the left with the pep band. They had a ton to cheer about in that second period as they took the lead momentarily. Meanwhile, the Jaguar side over there to your right, equally as full here at the Ice Gardens. Just a tremendous atmosphere and a terrific hockey game so far. And we have 17 more minutes potentially to decide this one, but who knows, we could have more hockey. Jefferson trying for its 8th win of the season. Kennedy would be their 3rd win of the year. But we've seen the intensity of both teams ratcheted up. It's what you would expect in this game. Playoff-like atmosphere. Actually, this is a better than playoff atmosphere. Sometimes you go to those quarterfinal playoff games and it's kind of dead inside the arena. But this has been lively here tonight. Which team will celebrate at the end? We'll find out shortly as the Jaguars ready to take the ice here for period number 3. The visitors tonight. Goals from Carson Jacobs and Prince Opong for the Jaguars. And the Kennedy Eagles will see how much gas they have in the tank here in the third period. Even at 2 apiece, thanks to the 2 Zach Workman goals. One came as he hopped off the bench on a line change as the puck was floating toward him, but he took advantage of that good fortune on the breakaway, sliding it past Redepenning, and then the second Eagle goal, just a brilliant feed from the freshman Chase Beacom to Workman, who was alone all in front. Then the Jaguars got a good break when a Prince Opong shot with only David Beacom in front of the net hit Beacom and floated up over the shoulder of Vidovnik for the Jaguar equalizer. Most important period of hockey in each team's season so far for both teams. Glad you're with us tonight on BEC-TV. Should be a heck of a period of hockey. And maybe more to decide it, who knows. Third period, all even at 2. We're underway as Kennedy tips it into the Jaguar zone behind goaltender Evan Redepenning. Sent to center, David Beacom. We'll see how close to the vest these teams played in the third with the 2-2 score. It was fairly wide open in the second period. David Beacom to the half wall, return pass hits his blade and trickles to Herman. Craig Herman with a long distance shot steered up and out of play by Evan Redepenning. The senior netminder for the Jaguars. On the other side, the young sophomore Vidovnik has played well for Kennedy in this one. Goldknop on the draw, but won by Prince Opong of Jefferson. Up for Justin Johnson, and now Carter Iha. A long distance shot misses wide. Opong backhands the rebound behind the net to Iha. Tried to throw it in front for Justin Johnson. That was blocked. Played by Kennedy, and they send it to center. Good catch by Goldknop as he lassos it in to the Jaguar zone. Carter Iha sends it back to the D, gets a return pass. Struggling with it along the half wall as Wendorf sends it back to Mickelson. Johnson ahead to center. Prince Opong against Ekholm. Opong in front, trying for a deflection, but it went through the crease. Loose puck at neutral, played by Justin Johnson, who sends it into the Kennedy zone. The freshman Chase Beacom back for it for Kennedy. Hit by Johnson, separated from the puck. Iha plays it for the Jaguars, and now Height. Tried to throw it in front for Johnson, trickles to Height. His shot was blocked by Chase Beacom and sent to center by Kennedy. Right on to Redepenning, so no icing as both teams change. Here's Grayson Height, in for Jefferson, save Vidovnik. Just about 2 minutes into the period, Peter Vidovnik has played big tonight for Kennedy, and he certainly looked composed on that sequence with Jefferson's leading scorer breaking in right in front of him. Height wins the draw back toward Nick Getters, intercepted by Kennedy, and unable to clear. Could be a tripping call, and it is. Jefferson is going to go on the power play with a chance to take the lead. And I think a good call here. Now, it wasn't an intentional trip. Kennedy was trying to work the puck free from Nick Getters, but got a piece of his skate instead. Did Zach Workman. And Jefferson's going to go on power play number 4. 0 for 3 tonight, but connecting at 20% on the season. So Workman, who has both goals for Kennedy, off the ice for what Kennedy hopes is 2 minutes.
It's unfortunate.
Jefferson would love to give him an early release from the penalty box and take the lead. Tristan Larson across to Youngworth. Youngworth to the circle, height shot, deflects to the corner. Camuel over for Height, back to Blake Camuel. Looking middle, drops it back to Height, and now Youngworth, top of the zone. Grayson Height walking in, his shot, scores! Grayson Height! A power play goal for the Jaguars, and they're back in front. Jefferson's leading scorer, Grayson Height, with his 6th goal of the season, and that Jaguar power play that has been so good this year, 20%, connects once again, and Jefferson has the lead. So Opong picks up an assist, a multiple point night for Prince Opong. And Kennedy will have to come from behind once again. David Beacom being marked there by Iha. Loose puck to the Jaguars. Vodovnik glove save. And he hangs on. 3 minutes into this third period, the Jaguars have taken the lead. Remember, Kennedy had the lead with under a minute left in the second. But the Opong goal and then the Opong to Grayson Heights setup has given the Jaguars a 3-2 advantage as they win the draw back to the point. Wendorf shot deflects up and out of play as Vodovnik makes another save as we tick under 14 minutes remaining. The freshman Chase Beacom, so much ice time for the Beacom brothers for Kennedy back on D. He is going to be a fixture for Kennedy for the next 3.5 years. As was older brother David for so long for Kennedy, now in his senior season. Can the Eagles find a goal to equalize at 3 apiece? Here's Herman to the half wall. It hops over the blade of Youngworth all the way down, icing the call. 13:30 remaining here in the third period. Metro West standings, Benilde 4-0-1 for 11 points. St. Louis Park also 4-0-1. They're both at 9 points correction in the league. Then Chaska 3-2. Then you have Jefferson at 1-3, Kennedy at 0-3. Chanhassen, by the way, 0-4 in conference play. This one will count in those standings, of course. A loose puck at center. Nice handle by Blake Camuel, who fires up over the top of the net. Blake's father was also a Jaguar back in the mid-90s and played on those glory years with the Jaguars state championship teams. And now his son getting to wear the Columbia Blue sweater for the past few seasons. Icing on Jefferson with 12:47 remaining in the third. Play settling just a little bit as kind of expected. Both teams had so much energy in that second period. Kennedy within touch here in this one though, as a shot right on, turned back by Redepenning. Carson Jacobs lifts it down low, and Vodovnik will do the safe thing there and cover. As we're nearing the 12.5-minute mark here, third period. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Battle of Bloomington. Josh Powers along with our crew. It's been a back and forth battle. Jefferson led early 1-0. They carried that lead late into the second period, but back-to-back Kennedy goals by Zach Workman put the Eagles in front briefly. But then Jefferson equalized near the end of the second period and has taken the lead on a power play goal here early in the third to lead 3-2 in the only meeting between the two teams this season. Grayson Height tried to throw it in front for Jacobs. That was blocked by Kennedy. And they'll try to clear up this near wall. Turned back, though, by Jefferson's Nathan Johannes, another one of the Jaguar seniors. Vidovnik is he going to leave it or cover it? Boy, that took a while, but he left it for Chase Beacom as he flings it down. And Jefferson regroups behind its own net. Justin Johnson to Opong through neutral, broken up by Jackson Fuller. And a nice stick by Iha. Over to Johnson, around Mendel, and Vidovnik came out with the stick to deny that one. Great stick work by the sophomore goalie of Kennedy. A steal by Workman. Wouldn't he love to record a hat trick tonight and tie this one at 3? A steal by Dojin. In front for Workman. That was blocked by the Jaguar D. Herman recovers. Over for Workman. Opong blocks that one. And now Prince will carry to center. Prince Opong. He gets hooked down and no call coming there. Wow. That stick was up awfully high too. Here's Herman at the end of a shift as he's being bothered from behind. A stoppage of play as we're under 11 minutes remaining. Zach Workman with both Kennedy goals tonight. You just always seem to have seniors step up in the Battle of Bloomington time and time again. We've seen it so many times, regardless of sport through the years. And guess who's made the plays tonight? You had Opong tying it for Jefferson. And Zach Workman, senior co-captain, both goals for Kennedy. And Opong setting up the game winner as it is right now. Here's a high puck. Backhanded by Larson in front. Save and a rebound. Larson sent it up over the top. Nice steal from Jack Getters, but he gets bumped off the puck. And Wendorf sends it right back in as we approach the 10-minute mark. Good forecheck by the Jaguars. Keeps it in at the point for Larson, who slides it wide. And the long rebound to Ekholm. Unable to settle that one at center was Jackson Fuller as it's played around by the Jaguars. Kennedy holds with Dojin. Aggressive keep in by the Eagles. A shot from the circle blocked by the Jaguars. And Tristan Larson calmly to center. And here's a chance for Anderson. He scores! Colin Anderson puts the Jaguars back up 2. And a great feed that time from the captain, Tristan Larson. And a nice settle on that bouncing puck by Colin Anderson. And the Jaguars have a little bit of breathing room. Anderson with his 6th goal of the season. Correction, 3rd goal of the season. And certainly an assist there for Tristan Larson, the captain, with his 10th assist of the season. So the Jaguars responding. They were down late in the second, but 3 consecutive for the Jaguars have a 2-goal lead back for the team in Columbia Blue. Overskating that one, Kennedy. Some dangerous moments in front as it's played to the corner. A Jaguar steal trying to pour it on here. Save and the rebound. They score! Jefferson able to poke home the rebound as it was loose. We'll see who gets credited with the Jaguar goal as Jefferson exploding here in the 3rd period. Kennedy will use its timeout. Certainly deflated right now are the Eagles. They had the lead late in the 2nd period. A fortunate bounce for Jefferson, tied it at 2, and then Jefferson is struck for 3 goals here in the third period as you look at the Kennedy bench. And it was Carter Eha with that goal, his 7th of the season. Cole Youngworth with the assist for Jefferson. And how about this third period for the Jaguars? I'm sure Coach Lindquist didn't like that his team was trailing late in the second, but they certainly have responded in a good way. And they've upped that level of play here in the third period. Still plenty of time though. Kennedy not out of this yet. We saw them strike for 2 quick goals back in the second period. If they can do that again here, it would set them up with a chance down the stretch. And a good timeout by Nick Hanrahan right there to try to settle his team down a bit. Back underway in the third period with the Jaguars now leading all of a sudden by 3. Here's Chase Beacom. He fires and misses high. How about the game of this freshman? He has no fear, folks. Number 3 in gold. Can't keep it in, though. Here's Colin Anderson with Camuel. Camuel deflected up wide by Kennedy. John Lane for the Eagles. To center. Gloved and dropped by the captain, Tristan Larson. At the circle. In front for Camuel, who got tripped up. Puck squeezes back to the point for Mickelson. Camuel lost his stick when he was tripped. Has to go back for it. Jack Getters in the corner. Jack working in front. Slides it across. Camuel saved by Vidovnik. Peter Vidovnik sliding over quickly. Camuel just double clutched a moment on that one. Vidovnik able to slide over as we're midway through the third period. Jefferson has taken the lead, 3 consecutive goals, 4 dating back to the waning moments of the second period. They lead by 3. First it was Grayson Height for the Jaguars to take the lead. The latest goal from Carter Eha. A shot from the point with Vidovnik being harassed in front by Carson Jacobs, no call. Height spins away from a check. Grayson Height down low for Carson Jacobs. Jacobs watched by 2 Eagles, and Ekholm delivers a hit to him. And Kennedy gets it to center. Cole Youngworth flips it right back into the Jaguar zone, or to the Eagle zone. And David Beacom tried to walk around a check, and the net came free as Beacom brushed it. Stopping play with 7:41 left in this third period. Grayson Height, Colin Anderson, and Carter Eha, the goals in this third period for the Jaguars, leading by 3. Jefferson trying for its 8th win of the season. They'll be at home again on Saturday against Moorhead. Opong to the corner, back to the point. Larson, a drive, they score! Carter Eha redirects it in front, and he finds the back of the net for his 2nd goal of the period, and Jefferson now leads by 4.
14, 20, and 12.
Larson will pick up another assist, and we talked at the top of the broadcast about net front presence. That's what guys like Jack Getters and Carter Eha can do for you, and we saw it right there with Eha tipping it home beautifully in front of the net. And Prince Opong picks up a second assist, so it's a 3-point night for the senior Opong. And how about the captain, Tristan Larson? Playing big when it matters here in the third period for the Jaguars, who are looking for more. Colin Anderson again. Save Vidovnik, and the rebound punch behind the net. Jefferson turning up the heat here in period number 3. 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of the period, 4 goals in the first 10 minutes of the period for the Jaguars. Nick Getters looking for some options. He'll hit the Kennedy line and work around a hip check. Team changing behind the play. He goes for the wraparound, and it was sent just wide. Short angle shot on to Vidovnik, who makes another save. In front, that pass poked to the line, but not out. Mickelson a drive, and Vidovnik just did get a piece of that one. Jefferson another chance. That hit off the post. Relentless Jaguar pressure. Already leading by 4. Between the circles, that shot by Height blocked. In front, Jacobs to Johannes. That goes through both. And now Mickelson holds. Across to Wendorf, a drive. Ripped wide. Mickelson on the back end. Walking right in front. Saved by Vidovnik. And now things getting chippy. We saw this at the end of the JV game, where we actually had punches thrown in a 2-player fight. And the officials trying to separate these teams, making sure something like that doesn't happen here at the end of this one. It's been hard hitting all night, but now with Kennedy kind of seeing that the window of opportunity may be closing for them in this game, might try to take their aggressions out on the Jaguars even more here late in the third. The fast skating Jackson Fuller for the Eagles in front, and the rebound poked free by Justin Johnson just before Goldknop could get there. Fuller sends it back down low. Goldknop in front as they poke away, and they score! It's ruled a goal, and now bodies flying everywhere. It's a Kennedy goal to make it 6-3, and things are nearly getting out of control here at the Ice Garden. This is incredible stuff. One of the more intense battles of Bloomington we've been able to witness here. This is year number 18 for me, and I don't know if I can remember a more intense battle between these two teams than this one tonight. Ekholm and Youngworth will go for both teams. Amid all that, Kennedy scoring to make it a 3-goal game with just over 5 minutes to play. Your guess is as good as mine on who poked that home. 4 players for Kennedy were down there. And we'll see what these penalties are for both sides as well. We still have 5:10 remaining in this one, and Kennedy is just cut into the lead. And the officials discussing, making sure they've got everyone on the same page before we get back to play. Let's take another look at this one here. Heavy traffic in front of Redapenning. There's the initial rebound. It's still loose. Kennedy doing whatever they try to get it in the goal. Perhaps Ekholm there. And then you see the rough stuff after the play with Ekholm and Youngworth. A couple of shoves. Both players you see clearly guilty of some wrongdoing. Surprised that Iha and Goldknopf were not hit with matching minors as well. You probably could have called about 8 penalties down there. What a wild night here at the Ice Garden. 9 goals here in the Battle of Bloomington, and it's been intense from the very first drop of the puck all the way through this third period with still 5:10 remaining. And now the officials, 2 of them in front of the Jaguar bench. And I think they're going to inform both teams of what the situation is here. And it was Quentin Goldknopf getting credited with the goal. Jackson Fuller picks up the assist, so Goldknopf with his 4th goal of the season, Fuller with his 6th assist. Nick Hanrahan trying to plead his case. Don't know that he particularly liked the explanation, kind of shrugged it off with a laugh. Doesn't look like either team will be granted a power play though, so probably the right decision given what we saw from both teams on that replay. Now we do have a second Kennedy skater that just went to the box, and now Kennedy has just 4 on the ice, so apparently a power play coming for Jefferson, so that's why Hanrahan had to shrug that off with a laugh, obviously disappointed with the decision. The penalty is up on the board to Ethan Skopehammer for Kennedy. And we'll get the announcement shortly. He may be serving a penalty for someone else. I don't believe he was on the ice during that situation. So Kennedy scoring with the goal from Goldknopf, but then the bad is the 2-minute power play in progress right now for the Jaguars, leading by 3. So a double minor for Jefferson, or for Kennedy, excuse me, has given Jefferson the power play. And it was Skopehammer serving that double minor for Justin Ekholm, who was the guilty party of both penalties for Kennedy. So that sorts out the situation. And again, unfortunately for Kennedy, they had some momentum, now only down 3, but Jefferson on the power play for the next minute 17. And that's a significant portion of what's remaining here in the third period. Kennedy able to win that draw and send it to center with Joe Dojan. And I'm sure Jefferson will be extra cautious here on the blue lines on this power play as they nearly give it away and almost do. Dojan had a chance at it, but he couldn't settle it as it trickled to Iha. Kennedy trying to turn up the heat shorthanded to climb further back into this one. Jefferson almost maybe a little bit too relaxed here on this power play. Nick Getters trying to change that, works around David Beacom, then had it poked to the corner. 35 seconds left of power play time. Nick Getters up top. Sends it to the circle, pass across, save made by Vidovnik, and Kennedy clears. Carter Iha was over there looking for the hat trick, but Vidovnik making a key save with now under 10 seconds remaining in the power play. Grayson Height through center. Height hits the Kennedy line with speed. Height to the forehand, poked away by Vidovnik or Beacom as the penalty, one of them is over anyway. Hustling to the bench, Skopehammer, who is serving that penalty to Ekholm. We're back to 5-on-5 with under 3 minutes left. In front for Camuel, deflected up and out of play, and now Youngworth only serving a 2-minute penalty, enforced at the next whistle. He is allowed to come off. Ekholm will have to serve about another minute 40 before the next whistle. Then Kennedy will be back to its full complement of players. However, they're still 5-on-5 right now. Trailing by 3, under 3 minutes left in the Battle of Bloomington. Only meeting between these two this season as it's backhanded to center by Kennedy. One final push here for the Eagles to try to get back into this one. Carson Jacobs, though, for Jefferson. Sends that one wide. The Jaguars scoring 4 times here in the third period after we were even at 2 after 2. Tristan Larson sneaks around a couple of checks. Larson drops it for Jacobs. Pad save, Vidovnik. Kennedy taking some chances. That's opening up play behind them as Jack Getters fires, saved by Vidovnik. Yeehaw blast, misses wide. Tip through center, and with 2 minutes to play, captured by the captain Tristan Larson. Drops it back for Jacobs, who flings it wide, and Opon backhands it down low for the Jaguars. We'll see if Kennedy tries to get aggressive, pulling the goalie down by 3. Usually you only see it trailing by 2 or 1, but you never know. 1:35 remaining. Dojan through neutral for Kennedy. Their leading scorer tried to sidestep a Jaguar, then brought down Wendorf. Shot right on, saved by Redepenning as the puck's cleared all the way down. Iha will get to it in the corner for the Jaguars with 1:15 remaining. And a wraparound attempt from the Jaguars goes through the crease. David Beacom for Kennedy on Wendorf. Solid D by Wendorf as he turns around Beacom. He'll spin again with 1 minute to play. Bumped off the puck as it slides to Redepenning, who covers with 57.3 seconds remaining. And now Justin Ekholm can come out of the box. Final minute here in the Battle of Bloomington, and it has been an entertaining one to say the least. Jefferson trying to salt this one away. And a face-off pass, David Beacom, playing in his final Battle of Bloomington. Hits the Jaguar line. Tip back. David between the circles, in front, and it was tipped just wide. Jackson Fuller for Kennedy. Behind the Jaguar net. 35 seconds to play. Skopehammer sends it around. Jefferson there first. And here comes Liam Kali'i moving in. Pad save, rebound. They score! It's Ryan Mady, who had 2 goals in the JV game earlier, now scores here to close the scoring here on the varsity.
3 from 7 and 16.
And Liam Kali'i will pick up an assist. We saw him throughout the JV game as well. And a late Jaguar goal, their 5th of the period, to make this a 7-3 game. So Jefferson, with a strong third period, is going to walk away with a Battle of Bloomington win. Final few seconds ticking off the clock. A great effort by Kennedy here tonight, but it's the Jefferson Jaguars who are going to win this one with What else would you expect? More pushing and shoving at the end of this one. How about that? My goodness, that is, wow. Ethan Skopehammer just dumped one of the Jaguar players as he was exiting. My gracious, that is not how you want this one to end, but during the course of this one, it was a great effort by Kennedy in this game. Jefferson, though, will win it by a score of 7-3. The Jaguars pick up their 8th win of the season. They're now 8-12. Kennedy falling to 2-16 as these teams do shake hands. Probably not the most friendly of handshakes, but credit to both teams with a little bit cooler heads after they separated. Going to finish this one amicably at center ice. Let's take a look at the third period highlights. We were tied at 2 after 2, and then Jefferson really took over. First it was Grayson Height on the power play to put Jefferson on top 3-2. Then the Jefferson Jaguars would strike quickly. Vidovnik making a save there. But Jefferson would quickly make it 4-2. Right there on the rebound goal by Carter Eha. Jefferson far from done. Camu with a shot there, smothered by Vidovnik. But then the deflection by Eha. That made it actually 6-2. Kennedy would score to make it 6-3. Somehow Quentin Goldknop was able to poke home that puck for a goal. I'm not sure how the official saw it went in, but he was very demonstrative about it. Kennedy was hit with a double minor right there to Ekholm. Then the Jaguars complete the scoring. Ryan Maney had 2 goals in the JV game earlier. Adds one there to cap the scoring. It was not easy for the Jaguars tonight, but they do win it by a final of 7-3. Credit Kennedy. They came out with a great effort here in this game. They took the lead late in the second period. It was a tremendous atmosphere, especially on their side at that point, but the Jaguars responded. They tied it up late in the second on the Prince Opon goal. And then it was all Jaguars in the third period. They pick up their 8th win of the season, and more importantly, they win the Battle of Bloomington here in 2018. 7-3 the final. Hope you enjoyed both of our double headers. Again, if you're watching this one and you want to find out where the JV game is being, or when the JV game is being shown, just check out our website, BEC-TV.org. For our crew, this is Josh Powers saying goodnight to another Battle of Bloomington, the final Jefferson 7, Kennedy 3. Good night from the Ice Garden.